All right, welcome back. This video will speak about sinus lift procedure and why we would need it. Why do we even need a actual sinus lift, and what's a sinus lift and why? It all starts with a missing tooth that we need to replace with a dental implant in the upper jaw. This is an upper jaw. This is a dental implant. And for us to be able to place this dental implant, we need to have enough bone in the area to hold on to the dental implant. To do that, what we start by doing is take a three-dimensional scan. A three-dimensional scan will show us how much bone in three dimensions there will be for us to be able to plan a dental implant. We see it in this view, where as you can see, this blue uh, volume is contained within enough bone to hold a future dental implant. Contrast this picture with this one, where the dental implant essentially has no bone availability to be placed. All of what you see here in black is actually void. It's the maxillary sinus, and this void does not allow enough bone to house the dental implant. So after we take a three-dimensional scan, it allows us to plan where and how to place the dental implant and whether we need a sinus lift. So what's a sinus lift? What's a sinus to begin with? It is a breathing pouch that is contained within the upper jaw that essentially allows us to humidify the air so that we breathe humidified air. It's an anatomic constituent of the maxillary sinus, and this sinus can expand with time. When we lose teeth in the top jaw, the sinus expands and it drops down, as you can see here. When it drops down, instead of having normal presentation of bone, we have an expansion of the sinus that eats into the available bone. For us to fix this issue so that we can end up being able to place a dental implant, we need to fill the area with bone and allow it to heal for us to be able to go ahead and place a dental implant. Let's go ahead and see how we're going to solve this issue. So what is a sinus lift? A sinus lift is a surgical procedure that aims at placing additional bone within the maxillary sinus to allow us to essentially fill in enough bone, just enough bone, so that we can end up with enough available mature bone to place a dental implant. In most times, the sinus lift procedure is a procedure that happens before placing any dental implant, but it will depend on each and every case, whereby we're going to decide whether placing an implant at the same time of the sinus lift procedure is a good idea or not. These are examples of how the sinus was completely expanded and was grafted with bone, and how on this side also there was a lack of availability of bone, and now we have bone availability on this side. Now, in some cases, we can place a dental implant at the same time as grafting with bone, but that will be determined by your examination and whether or not you will be able to receive these two together or not. So let's speak about the sequence of this procedure. The sinus lift procedure that aims at building bone alone will require a 6 to 9 months of healing, depending on your age, depending on your health, depending on how much initial bone you have. We have to wait at least 6 months and usually up to 9 months, depending on each and every case. If we place your implants after the bone has healed, there is an additional 4 months of healing that is required for us to be able to place your implant and allow it to heal. So we're talking about a total of 10 months minimum between the sinus lift procedure and the implant healing. In very particular cases where you have just about enough bone availability to place an implant, but you're missing some bone, we can combine these two procedures together, which then will lead to you saving around 4 months or so from this timeline. So instead of it being 10 months, it could become 6 months if we can succeed to place your bone and place your implant at the same time. But cases could qualify for this. So that is the purpose of your evaluation and treatment planning that will determine exactly what the sequence will be, what are the treatment options, and how to go about doing it. Make sure after you watch this video to watch the video that speaks about what to do after your sinus lift procedure for you to maximize the healing of your case and to prepare you to receive a dental implant when the sinus lift heals. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.